Welcome back to Turkish Spotlight Secrets, where we peel back the velvet curtain on the stories everyone whispers about but no one dares to tell. Today's episode is one you'll want to hear through to the end, because the signs pointing to a reunion are too loud to ignore. That's right, talk has erupted around a possible reconciliation between Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel, a couple whose chemistry once seemed to bend the air around them. Before we dive into the clues and decode the meaning behind what might be the subtlest love signal of the year, make sure you've tapped that subscribe button so you never miss our most captivating exclusives. So what sparked the frenzy? What tiny detail lit a wildfire across timelines and comment sections? A ring. Not just any ring, but twin bands gleaming on the fourth fingers of both Barış and Yağmur, identical in shape and spirit. Photos began cropping up almost simultaneously, one from a casual street sighting, another from a behind-the-scenes glimpse on a set day, and a third from a friend's story. In them, the bands appear understated and elegant, the kind of minimalist design that carries more meaning the longer you look. Not flashy, not ostentatious, but unmistakably deliberate. That's all it took for the internet to hum like a power line. Let's rewind. Their story began when they came together for a project that quickly turned into appointment viewing, the kind of show that turns scenes into memories and lines into folklore. The connection between Barış and Yağmur was so palpable that it felt less like acting and more like two souls finding the same rhythm. Paparazzi later caught them sharing hushed laughter outside a cafe, their glances unguarded, their words unreadable, and fans felt confirmed in what they'd suspected all along. Compliments flowed in interviews, a mosaic of mutual respect and gentle warmth. Then, suddenly, silence. A quiet separation that left the public with questions and the pair themselves walking forward with poise, neither indulging in drama nor denying the tenderness that had been. The ending felt unfinished, a chapter closed without an epilogue. And now, years later, these matching bands. Are they an echo of the past or the first note of a new beginning? At first glance, the shape is simple, a smooth, low-profile ring with a clean line and a softened edge. The design suggests something private, something meant to be understood beyond glitter and headlines. Stylists have pointed out that the bands look custom rather than store-bought, the type of piece chosen with intent. Fans have gone further, comparing textures, noticing the way the metal catches light, arguing over whether a tiny etching appears on both. Coincidence? A stylist's preference? Or a message only two people need to understand? The buzz built fast. Posts featuring side-by-side photos of their hands trended within hours. Edits resurfaced of their most adoring scenes, with captions like, "Some loves are patient," and, "When two stories want the same ending." Theories multiplied. Perhaps the rings are mementos they kept through the years, symbols of a bond that never truly dissolved. Or perhaps this is a quiet agreement they share, a promise renewed in private before the public gets wind of it. The idea that they might be returning to one another with more wisdom and steadier hearts has fans writing lengthy threads, threading together old quotes and candid moments like detectives assembling a case for love. Why does this matter so much? Because of what their connection represented. Barış, with that grounded presence that balances gentleness and resolve, and Yağmur, radiant yet steady, collected yet full of life, they combined to create a portrait of romance that felt both glamorous and real. They were never loud about their feelings, never indulgent, never reckless. They seemed to move with care, which only made their closeness feel more precious. When it ended, it wasn't chaos, it was a quiet ache, the kind you carry. Now this ring clue, appearing in sync, feels like a secret door creaking open. Let's talk symbolism. Are these engagement rings in the traditional sense? Not quite, at least not from what we can see. There's no dramatic announcement, no kneeling, no staged reveal. Instead it's a matching choice, two rings that look cut from the same thought. That decision alone, wearing something identical, on the same finger, at the same time, speaks of alignment. A relationship is built on the little agreements, the shared rituals only two people know. This could be that, a private vow, a reminder of continuity, or even a quiet tribute to a love that had to mature in the background before it ventured into the light again. Caution, of course, is healthy. The entertainment world thrives on mirages, and sometimes the most compelling narratives are the ones we sow ourselves. Still, there's a reason this particular detail refuses to drift away. The timing matters. Both Barış and Yağmur are deep in strong phases of their careers, standing on foundations they built with care. Choosing to display matching bands right now, if intentional, suggests they've navigated the delicate conversation of how to blend personal peace with public life. And it doesn't hurt that fashion reporters and image consultants are reading every pixel as if it's a poem, calling the design too synchronized to be random. The rumor mill has started whispering about quiet meetups, brief coffee breaks between rehearsals, a shared driver spotted 2 days in a row, a curtain drawn quickly when cameras appeared. Nothing verifiable, nothing scandalous, nothing beyond what two adults are entitled to keep for themselves. Yet the weight of all these soft clues has fans smiling through caution, urging patience while celebrating even the possibility of something beautiful returning. Threads labeled with their names are filled with kindness instead of chaos, a rare mood online, as if everyone has agreed to let this unfold at the couple's pace. If they do choose each other again, the magnitude will be immense, not just for the press, but for what it might inspire. Imagine the interviews where they talk about growth instead of gossip, about conversations held at midnight, about boundaries healed, trust rebuilt, and a love tested by distance and time finding firm ground. Imagine a new project together, older eyes, steadier hands, deeper subtext. Even their separate careers could benefit from the glow, not because they need it, but because audiences adore authenticity, and nothing feels more honest than two people choosing love carefully. We also need to consider that this might not be a conventional path. The rings could be a pact to protect what they share, whether labeled or not. They could be deciding that the relationship lives in lived moments rather than headlines, that it grows in the quiet, not the roar. They've both been selective about what they show the world. Their circles, loyal and close, rarely leak. If they are rebuilding, they're doing it the way they've done most things, thoughtfully, with a long view. Perhaps that's why the rings feel less like bait for attention and more like an anchor. A reminder to themselves that whatever the storm outside, something inside remains calm. Still, we remember how their first chapter made people feel. When they worked side by side, the crew spoke of their kindness, the ease they brought to long days, the way laughter seemed to find them even on tight schedules. They moved like two musicians sharing a melody, listening as much as playing. Then came the hush. The decision to go separate ways, never weaponizing words, never igniting a blaze of rumor. It's that dignity that makes this possible reunion so compelling. We're not watching a spectacle, we're watching a story that respects itself. Experts in style and branding have already weighed in. They point out the ring's near matte finish, designed to photograph subtly rather than sparkle loudly. The bands look sturdy, not delicate, elegant, not extravagant. That choice hints at durability over display, substance over spectacle. It's the kind of detail couples choose together, talking not just about looks but about what the piece must endure: workouts, rehearsals, scenes, travel, the everyday tug and pull of life. If these are matching by design, the message is not, notice us. It's, we notice each other. The Turkish press, attentive as ever, has floated theories ranging from a soft launch of renewed affection to a symbolic farewell that honors what once was. But the farewell angle rings false to those who've watched the timeline closely: the parallel timing, the mirroring, the way both rings appeared after stretches of relative quiet. A coincidence this precise, arriving now, doesn't feel like goodbye. It feels like two people meeting in the middle of a room no one else can enter. For fans, it's more than a headline. It's a comfort. In a feed full of hot takes and short tempers, this is a slow bloom story that asks for gentleness. People are revisiting their favorite scenes, quoting lines that now sound like foreshadowing, telling personal stories about pauses and second chances. The phrase we keep seeing, love doesn't always leave. Sometimes it circles the block until the lights are right. Whether or not this becomes an official reunion, the hope itself has become a kind of community, an agreement to root for care, patience, and sincerity. And yet, we owe it to the truth to say, we don't know. Not for sure, not yet. Only Barış and Yağmur can define what these rings mean. They've taught us before that the absence of noise can be an act of love in itself. They'll speak when they're ready. Until then, it's fair to sit with the symbolism, to appreciate the detail, to read the language of metal and timing and parallel choices. If you ask us, the pieces align too cleanly to brush aside, but our excitement is careful, our words measured. After all, dignity has always been part of their story. If a statement comes, imagine the thoughtful tone, no theatrics, just clarity. Perhaps we'll hear that they've been talking, that they've forgiven the old stumbles and built something steadier. Perhaps the rings will be named for what they are, a sign of continuity, of two paths converging because the route finally feels right. Or perhaps they'll simply thank everyone for caring, reminding us that love, whatever shape it takes, deserves tenderness. Whatever happens, this moment has already shown us that soft clues can carry big feelings, and that not every love needs a megaphone to be heard. For now, we'll keep our eyes open and our respect intact. If you spotted details we missed, drop them in the comments. Your observations are half the fun of these investigations. Would you like to see Barış and Yağmur step back into the light together? Do you believe the rings are a private promise? How do you read the timing, the design, the symmetry? Tell us everything. And if you want more stories told with care and curiosity, make sure you like this video, share it with a friend who still believes in the sweet surprise of a second chance, and hit subscribe so Turkish Spotlight Secrets can keep bringing you the moments that make your heart lean forward. To sum it up, matching bands on matching fingers have become the most whispered about detail in the country's star universe. And the names attached are ones that long ago learned how to set a crowd buzzing simply by standing side by side. Whether these rings are an overture to a rekindled romance or a quiet symbol only they fully understand, the effect is undeniable, hope restored, timelines gleaming, and a reminder that not all clues shout, some merely shine. We'll be here, watching gently, ready to celebrate whatever truth unfolds, because stories like this don't just feed curiosity, they nourish faith in love's quiet returns. Until the next reveal, stay kind, stay curious, and keep your notifications on, because when two hearts move in rhythm, even the smallest gesture can sound like a promise.